Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we are talking about DoorDash Tasks. So in some markets, DoorDash has been testing out something known as DoorDash Tasks. As a concept, they have been trying out a few different ways to make this happen. But honestly, I don't think there is a single app in the delivery space that has really done this well. And while I think the concept can be profitable for drivers, I think we need to dive deeper before considering taking orders like this. So in this video, we are talking about everything you must know about DoorDash Tasks or Tasks on DoorDash, what they tell you versus how it actually is, and everything in between. But before we do that, let's go over a quick disclaimer. The content of this video does not contain and is never intended to be legal, business, financial, tax, or health advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only. It is advised that you conduct your own research and consult with qualified professionals before applying anything you find online. I also want to be clear that everything that we're going to be going over is very market to market and case by case. And what applies to me in my market may not apply to you. So with that said, let's get started. What DoorDash tells you. This is coming from an article from DoorDash titled Introducing DoorDash Tasks, as there is no current help pages on this yet. Today we're introducing Tasks, a new way for Dashers to earn on their own terms beyond delivery, and for businesses to know more about what's happening on the ground. DoorDash is always testing new earnings opportunities like this, and every gig company has tried some version of that, but we'll dive deeper into how this plays out. Businesses need to know what's actually on their shelves or whether the layout at another location has changed since the last week. But getting this information at scale in real time is a challenge. It's one we've spent over a decade solving, from finding the front door at a tricky address to checking whether a favorite local bakery is open on a holiday. Solving these kinds of problems has made our platform better for everyone who uses it. It also turned out to be something other businesses needed too. Some companies refer to this as audits and mystery shops, and while I do believe that this can be a profitable way to earn because it is coming from DoorDash, a company that conducts their own shop and deliver orders, this can be beneficial to keep an accurate inventory as well and to not disappoint customers when they order something that just isn't available to them. That said, this information is only as valuable as what you are willing to pay for it and what you are willing to do with that information. So I'm wondering if it will actually be helpful or if it's just another cash grab for DoorDash. Tasks help businesses get the on-the-ground insights they need quickly and at scale while giving Dashers a new way to earn beyond delivery. Tasks are short activities Dashers can complete between deliveries or in their own time. Examples including helping a restaurant showcase their menu by taking real photos of their dishes, and helping a hotel make sure a delivery driver can find a drop-off location by taking photos of the hotel entrance, or giving an autonomous vehicle a hand getting back on the road. Since 2024, Dashers have completed more than 2 million tasks. Okay, here's where things start to get a little questionable. Are these tasks replacing things that business owners were normally handle themselves or outsource to professionals? Look, I'm all for finding ways to drive down costs on businesses and be more profitable, and I'm definitely all for ways for drivers to make more money. However, this seems less like an opportunity for drivers to earn more and more like an opportunity for businesses to just spend less. It's simple. You can't deliver to a door you can't find or get someone milk if you don't know what's on the shelf. These are the kinds of real world problems we've been solving for over a decade, and we realized the same capabilities that helped us could help other businesses too. The goal of Tasks is to help more businesses understand what's happening on the ground and gather new insights, all while giving Dashers a new way to earn on their own terms. There are more than 8 million Dashers who can reach almost anywhere in the US and who want to earn flexibly beyond delivery. And that's a powerful capability to digitize the physical world, said Ethan Betty, general manager, DoorDash Tasks. To be fair, this isn't a new concept. Models like mystery shopping and retail audits have existed for a while, and I think that's fine. The issue is when those tasks start to move into areas that they don't belong. Taking photos of food for menus really should be done professionally, not by a dasher with a phone. I guess you could argue it would be less misleading if the order was made for a DoorDash order and you just took a photo. However, that still doesn't sound like how it would actually go down. Like, what's next? Is a DoorDash driver now going to be expected to conduct a health inspection? We're also piloting a new standalone app where Dashers can complete activities like filming everyday tasks or recording themselves speaking in another language. This data helps AI and robotic systems understand the physical world. Pay is shown up front and determined based on effort and complexity of the activity. All right, this is where things start to feel a bit uncomfortable. Are we looking at a system that's trying to replace voice actors by bypassing them entirely? This doesn't just impact creators. It raises questions for gig workers too, especially when you look at how that data is going to be valued elsewhere. Like, at a surface level, you're recording yourself speaking another language, and that might seem simple as a low effort task, but the way it is valued depends entirely on who's buying it and how it's being used. A dasher completing a task might earn around $5 for submitting a quick voice clip, while that same type of data collected in a structured environment can pay up to $50 per hour in an AI training contract. At the highest level, if that voice becomes part of a licensed or scalable AI product, it could be worth thousands. The work itself doesn't change, but the business model does. One is paying for a single action, while the other are paying for data that can be reused, scaled, and monetized far beyond the original recording. And that difference is where real value is created. And this is the part most dashers aren't thinking about when they see a $5 task. We're already partnering with companies across industries, including retail, insurance, hospitality, and technology. We plan to expand into more task types and countries over time. Tasks and the new app are currently available in select places in the US, excluding California, New York City, Seattle, and Colorado. It's interesting that the areas excluded are also the ones with stronger gig worker protections. I can imagine a boardroom meeting where this came up and somebody said,
"Oh no, we are not giving those entitled states more money or opportunities. They're lucky enough to get the crumbs that we were giving them before, and now they were making us pay more money. Disgusting."
Jokes aside, I do like how they are removing this type of work from the main workflow. Acceptance rates and app momentum shouldn't be affected because somebody wanted to do deliveries and then ended up receiving these types of orders and declining them. They could say it won't affect your ratings, but it's going to affect something. Field Agent and other apps. Like I said, DoorDash is not the first to come up with this idea. They are just one of the loudest. There are a bunch of apps that have task-based income opportunities, such as Field Agent, user testing, etc. Some of them pay really well, some of them pay dog water. Just remember not to undersell yourself on the tasks that they offer, because there is always ways to make more on these types of gigs. Contract violations from tasks. I wonder if dashers can potentially get contract violations from the tasks being completed in a certain way. Like in one of the examples that they mentioned, they said you can take pictures of products on their shelves for to see real-time inventory. And if a driver just completed a shop and deliver order, they reported an item was not there, but the person who came later for that shelf audit took a photo of it and found it, or even a damaged version of it that they would never pass on to a customer, they can potentially receive a contract violation for that. I wonder if they're going to get smart about it, or if they're just going to give undeserving violations because AI is telling somebody in the Philippines to do it and they're just fulfilling a process. And this is where the bigger issue starts to come into focus. You get what you pay for. I hate the idea of bashing on drivers for no reason, but there's a difference between paying for a simple task to get done, such as food delivery, and paying for something that is supposed to be a higher price tag and having somebody highly underqualified complete that task. There's a difference between paying for convenience and paying for expertise, and that is where the line starts to blur. When the goal is to build reliable systems, especially in AI, that difference matters more than you think. Using gig workers to complete voice recording tasks for the sake of keeping money in your pockets is one thing, but it raises the question on whether this approach is being used to reduce reliance on the traditional voice talent altogether. And in some cases, it feels like AI quality is taking a step back, which could be part of the reason why. I tried AI for some of my videos for the Chevy case that I was making shorts for, and they just didn't do as well at all. Videos just do better with real voices. So instead of underpaying for higher value work, you pay the right people to get it right the first time. Building a skill or building a bad baseline. One good thing that may come from this is that a lot of drivers may have an opportunity to actually build some skill sets or discover skill sets they didn't even know they had. Like if you ever thought about getting into the world of voice acting, this could be a decent way to discover if this is the type of work you actually want to find yourself in. If you find value in making sure things stay up to code or making sure things are in the right place or staying compliant to corporate code or state law, you might find value in becoming a field inspector or a notary. Or inversely, you may try this out and realize, you know what? I would prefer to just deliver like a normal dasher. Then expanding into higher ticket delivery may be the right move for you, such as catering, medical courier, or another area in logistics altogether. There are other ways to expand as well, but identifying what you like based on real life experiences as opposed to just watching somebody else do it is the best way to learn, at least in my opinion. Is this also multi-apping? In a way, because they're making this into a separate app, this can also be considered a form of multi-apping. However, I don't know what would happen if you were deactivated as a dasher and also have a, for a lack of a better term, tasker account. I wouldn't want to be dependent on one company, especially if DoorDash is operating both of them. I would say you would want to diversify your gig portfolio with more companies than just one and more opportunities in general. Whether that means diving deeper into the food delivery space and going into catering, a light pivot into courier work, or a harder pivot into another type of service altogether, such as notary, UGC, or photography. I personally believe in giving as many types of work a chance because you never know what you might find valuable, and not to mention you might find a whole new experience that would allow you on a whole new path. Just be careful to not let familiarity hold yourself back into trying something new. Final thoughts. Look, it is a bit too soon to determine if this will be a valuable opportunity for all dashers, but I think I made my point clear when I say this seems that it will be just as harmful as it will be helpful if you let it take you over. Don't let platform pricing convince you that this is what the work is actually worth, because in many cases, no, it isn't. Just from a perspective of potential pay for voice acting between DoorDash and professional voice acting, the likely pay for DoorDash based on the industry and DoorDash structure is $2 to $10 per task, and maybe $10 to $25 for more complex tasks. Maybe there's video, maybe there's multiple steps, etc. Whereas professional voice acting could be $20 to $50 per hour based on AI data collection. For basic AI data collection, $100 to $300 per session, which is a structured recording, or more than $5,000 if it becomes voice model training or licensing. So do yourself a favor. Don't let DoorDash pricing undervalue you long term. It might make sense as a starting point, but it doesn't reflect the long-term value of the skills you're building. Because at the end of the day, it's not about completing tasks, it's about understanding the value of what you're contributing. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, check out my website, drivenwyld.com, if you'd like to learn some more about the services and gig platforms that we have talked about in the past and offering today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.
Rise up, shake off that 9 to 5 rust. In this wild world of hustle we trust. Break them all, leave them all in dust. Driven was the only wave up.